Today is November 14th, 2020, day 14 of NaNoWriMo. I don't really have a whole lot to discuss with this video, mostly because I am extremely tired. This getting up early and staying up late stuff, it wears me out after a while. But I will go ahead and talk a little bit about the book thus far. I was able to get about 3,000 words done last night. Not quite as many as I had hoped for, but that brought us up to a little over 22,000 as far as the total goes. And tomorrow being the halfway point for not only the month, 25,000 is the halfway point for the book, at least the estimated, so we are pretty close to being on track. We'll see what happens there, but anyway, for the story content as of yesterday, I worked mostly on Chapter 4, and that was getting the kids out of the house. They were playing their D&D game. There was a pizza guy kind of jump scare that I was aiming for in Chapter 3, which I believe I managed. But they're sneaking out of the house, and this is where they're going back to the kind of creepy forest that we encountered in the beginning, and Aaron is going to wind up having to go in. Somewhat due to peer pressure. The other part is because he took them there and then starts trying to wimp out once they get there. But they go into the forest and things are, well, anybody who's walked into a forest knows that it looks a lot scarier before you actually step in. There's just something about that tree line that's daunting. Step past that threshold and then suddenly you are in an entirely new world. It's no longer as dense as it seemed to be. It's just, the light works differently. It's hard to explain unless you've, experienced it. But the characters go in, and of course, since it's aimed to be a slightly, not necessarily horror, but a slightly darker novel, it's going to be the polar opposite. It's going to be even worse once they go inside. They're going to quickly get turned around, lose their way, have to figure out what's going on, and then as they are exploring, they're going to stumble upon a particular hut that dances on chicken legs. And if you are familiar with any type of German mythology from that part of the world, you should be able to identify who this character reference is. And of course, I don't ever plan to name the character. I'm just going to have some references so people kind of get the idea of who we're talking about. The kids are going to experience fear and end up fleeing for what they believe is their lives. And then soon after that, Grandpa shows up, kind of a grandpa to the rescue type of situation. But it's not necessarily to the rescue, it's more him getting onto them for leaving and filling in of information as to why it is particularly dangerous for them to leave this particular night. This is the scene where we kind of learn that Aaron is special, latent magical ability that he doesn't know that he has. But this is kind of where the story begins to pick up. The end of Act 1, beginning of Act 2, so to speak. Or in the hero's journey outline, like I spoke about before, it's the point of no return. You can no longer go back home. Things are changed permanently from this point forward. And I got a little bit beyond that, mostly just the kind of what's going on, why you can't go back, why you have to learn and master this thing. And that was pretty much where I called it last night. Anyway, I am going to get off of here. I will talk back tomorrow with any new progress I've made, and we will see you then. Have a good evening.